in the last administration, his last administration, asked his Secretary of Defense and his chairman of the Joint Chiefs to, quote, shoot at their legs at unarmed protesters in front of the White House that he wanted moved.
Actually, I know you're talking about Mark Esper's book. He didn't exactly say that. He said the president suggested that, but they were never ordered to do that. So let's talk right now. Do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal.
That's Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin on ABC News quietly admitting that the whole Democratic panic about Trump giving illegal orders has no real basis. After weeks of dramatic videos telling troops to worry about imaginary threats, their own senator comes out and basically confirms the story falls apart as soon as someone checks the facts. Welcome to Nurk News. I'm Nurkish. It looks like Democrats are so desperate to weaken Trump's authority that they are now sharing a dramatic video telling troops to ignore illegal orders that don't even exist. When the real facts don't support them, they use fear and threats to keep their story alive. Here's Elissa Slotkin trying to push the panic as far as she can, and then Martha Raddatz, of all people, shuts it down with just a few simple questions.
Who ran on lowering costs for Americans.
But you changed the subject with that video as well.
Sure.
And here's what White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said.
They're suggesting, Nancy, that the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful.
Is that an accurate statement?
When you look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago, it makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniformed military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens, you have the ability to go to your JAG officer and push back.
And with these service members calling you, couldn't you have done a video saying just what you just said, if you are asked to do something, if you are worried about whether it is legal or not, you can do this. Let me read you what Senator Lindsey Graham said about your video. You owe it to the men and women in the military to be specific about what you are talking about. What these senators and House members did was unnerving, and it was unconscionable to suggest that the President of the United States is issuing unlawful orders without giving an example. It does imply that the President is having illegal orders, which you have not seen. And it is very clear that no one should follow an illegal order. But it's very murky when you look at what is an illegal order. And if you go into morally, ethically, that's a pretty tough thing to look at and say, how do I navigate this?
Look, if you're going back to Nuremberg, right, that, well, they told me to do it, that's why I murdered people, is not an excuse. If you look at popular culture, there's like, you watch, A Few Good Men, like we have plenty of examples since World War II in Vietnam where people were told to follow illegal orders and they did it and they were prosecuted for it.
Slotkin keeps bringing up Nuremberg because she has nothing real to argue. She already admitted that Trump hasn't given a single illegal order. This whole routine is just like what Democrats have been doing with ICE since the beginning. During Trump's first term, they called ICE agents fascists. Now they're doing the same thing, but worse. They're doxing officers, intimidating their families, threatening to prosecute them, and supporting activists who block ICE from doing their jobs. DHS even reported that assaults on ICE officers went up by 700%. And Democrats are still using this kind of rhetoric. Their claim that Trump is doing something legally wrong is pure projection. The only people actually bending the law are the ones telling schools, cities, and even whole states to block immigration enforcement. Here's Ben Ferguson on CNN calling out the scam directly.
This is the reason why the president responded the way he did. It is very clear this video was put out without any reason behind it. There was no red flag to put this out. It was done clearly for fundraising, number one.
Broken the law?
Let me finish, and you can yell at me if you want to. It was clearly done, premeditated, fundraising. You got emails going out at 6 o'clock on the day this happened. That was clearly orchestrated and pre-planned.
Hold on there.
Again. And the second thing is, you have a president that's pretty used to Democrats saying, we don't pay attention to laws. We don't enforce laws with ICE. We don't enforce laws with the border. We don't enforce laws with anything we don't like with Donald Trump. So this was a wink and a nod to military officials that if you don't like Donald Trump, you don't have to follow anything that he says that you don't really want to. And oh, by the way, the caveat, the best part about this is, then when he responds, we will literally be so shallow because there is no issue here. We're just trying to raise money off of it.
But Ben,
that's it. This is a money game.
Ben, if this is just a fundraising ploy by Democrats, why is Trump calling it a seditious conspiracy? Why is he likening it to treason? Why is he suggesting that they should be hanged for it? Because I think when you suggest that
military leaders should go against the President of the United States of America.
Well,
it was. The Democratic Party.
That's not what they said. I'm just taking you at your own argument.
And I'll
if it's a fundraising ploy,
don't expand.
why is the president then acting as if this is a conspiracy to overthrow the government?
Abby,
but wait. We were all here on January 6th when he called the people breaking into the Capitol patriots. How?
Democrats aren't warning about fake illegal orders, they're actually preparing their supporters to ignore real, lawful ones. This is the same group that told cities to defy federal law, told teachers not to cooperate with ICE even when there were warrants, and encouraged protesters to surround judges' homes even though federal law bans intimidating the courts. It's always the same pattern. They shout fascism, then tell people to resist anything that brings back real law and order. They use intimidation and threats but try to disguise it as compassion.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach, every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. We're going to make sure that the American people have the transparency necessary to hold people accountable when they're folks who cross the line.
He will not be in office forever, and the Congress won't always be in MAGA Republican hands where they're just saying hands off whatever the president wants. There will be a moment when these folks are held accountable. So I've reminded them of that.
You have to follow legal orders. You are not to follow illegal orders. It was just a friendly reminder that we are a country of laws.
And what that oath requires, not only that I stand up for the Constitution myself, but that I ensure that others are doing the same, that our men and women in uniform, that officers, that civil servants that have taken that oath and have that obligation are constantly reminded of what their duty is. And their duty is to the Constitution and not the Donald Trump.
This is exactly how Democrats treat any federal agency that enforces laws they don't like. They intimidate them, threaten investigations, talk about putting people in jail, and act like these agents are committing horrible crimes. Pelosi even suggested arresting ICE agents simply for doing their jobs. Activists also doxed officers, attacked them, and went after their families, and Democrats never toned down their rhetoric. They even acted like they were the victims because ICE agents started wearing masks for safety. Now they're using the same strategy on the military. They pretend Trump is the danger while they create division for political gain. But tell me what you think. Do Democrats' intimidation tactics toward ICE, and now the military, show a larger pattern of undermining lawful authority whenever Trump is in charge? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.